Waipara Valley is a 40-minute drive north of Christchurch. It is the fastest growing wine region in New Zealand with around 80 vineyards in the Waipara Valley, covering more than 1,500 hectares of plantings.
Nestled in this beautiful valley is Pegasus Bay. They are true leaders in the industry down here and make world-class wines from beautiful Chardonnays, classic Rieslings, and amazing Pinot Noirs. But they really excel in a lot of varieties. Not only are they a great producer, they have an award-winning restaurant set on their beautiful grounds. The man who started the dream is Ivan Donaldson. I was lucky enough to meet him. Ivan, we're standing here in the heart of Pegasus Bay Vineyard, and all this that we're standing here looking at started from really a birthday present.
It was. You're absolutely correct. It was started from a birthday present. I was a final year medical student at the time, and you can imagine that wasn't yesterday. And my then girlfriend gave me a book called Wine by an English wine writer, Hugh Johnson, very well-known wine writer. And I just fell in love with the topic of wine, the whole concept of wine. I'm not the first to say it, but wine is bottled poetry. And I suppose I'm a romantic. And wine encapsulates all those things about poetry and romance. And it gives a stamp to a season, because what wine does is it tells you where it came from, what plant it was made from, how the wine was made, and the season. And the thing is that there is basically no other food that can last like wine. Wines, you can still drink wines from the late 1800s and they're not dead. It's not to say all wines you can do that with, but it's so wonderful in that it actually changes in the bottle. It's almost a living thing.
It's like a time capsule.
Yes.
Now, I can't help but look around and notice that this is a protected little area.
Yes.
So why Waipara, why Canterbury, why this specific site?
Well, Canterbury's got the largest area of flat land in New Zealand, and we've got the hills over here. These hills stop the wind coming off the Pacific Ocean, so they give this valley a special microclimate. But not only that, the hills on both sides of the valley, in fact, the entire valley has been under the sea, and the valley is, the sides of the valley and even the floor of the valley is influenced by limestone. And it's one of the few places in New Zealand that have this limestone character. And beyond that, the soil in this vineyard is quite unique in a sense, because this was moraine left behind by an Ice Age glacier.
Ivan's son Edward, who takes care of the marketing, was giving me a quick tour of the wine cellar before we settled into a wine tasting session. So the beautiful thing about Pegasus Bay is that everything you do is on site here. You know, you pick the grapes, you source them, you grow them yourselves, you know exactly where they're from, and that's why it just tastes so beautiful here.
Yeah, I mean, we do, well, we basically grow all our own fruit, as you say, so sort of a 100-acre vineyard where we source, you know, everything that goes into the Pegasus Bay label from. Obviously, as you say, all the wines are made here. We've got a fermentation, we've got two different halls from here. There's an open vat fermentation hall for Pinot Noir ferments, and then the middle hall is basically stainless steel tanks for fermentations as well. And then obviously this hall for aging the wine. We also have, just on the far side of the back, we've got a bottling facility, so we do all our own bottling on site. So,
Ed, you must love being a part of the wine industry, especially with your family here. What is your ultimate favorite part about it?
I mean, there's lots of good parts about being in the wine industry. I mean, working with the family is great. I mean, it's pretty rewarding working for a business that you know that is, you know, with your family. So, you know, we work really well together and enjoy each other's company, and obviously, you know, drinking wine and having a good time. I mean, it's something that you'll find pretty much throughout the wine industry worldwide, that I think most people most winemakers and wine people, you know, they love to drink wine, they love to party and enjoy life, and it just, you know, we're in the entertainment industry really, so it's all part of it. So.
Yeah. Well, wine brings, you know, people and families and friends together.
Absolutely.
And then heaps of Panadol the next morning.
That is also an essential part of the mix, yeah. A couple of waters.
But that night is unforgettable. grounds at Pegasus Bay are truly stunning. The restaurant has won Cuisine's Best Vineyard Restaurant 2 years in a row, and it's amazing that everything is done here on site.
So this is a new wine in the range called Bel Canto. It's a Riesling, which is it's the most important white variety in the valley, and it just does really well in the region. There's a certain character in white Riesling that you don't seem to get in any other region in New Zealand. A real intense, kind of an orange peel sort of character. What we tend to do with our Rieslings, we've moved more and more towards harvesting them a little bit later, and we've found the later the grapes are harvested, we just get more of that intense citrusy sort of orange peel sort of character in the wine.
Well, it's pretty dangerous to let Sierra loose on the wine tasting at midday. Anyway, I met head chef Oliver to collect the ingredients for our fruit dish today. It's a great luxury to be able to pick everything on site, and we're using the Aria today, which is a late harvest Riesling.
Okay, so this is, I'll sort of finish up with it's kind of like our flagship wine, Prima Donna, which we thought it was a fitting name for Pinot Noir. Pretty sort of temperamental grape variety and requires a lot of attention. We typically find the core of this wine comes from our oldest vines in the vineyard. The vines are 3 different clones we planted originally, and they're all ungrafted. So most of New Zealand is planted with grafted vines because of a disease called phylloxera. It's just sort of kills the vines slowly. There's no sort of cure for them. But our original plantings, there's no phylloxera in Canterbury yet. So our 50 acres are all on their own roots. Yeah, touch wood.
Well, great. Cheers. Thank
Cheers.
you. Thank
Pleasure.
you for taking me through the beautiful range at Pegasus Bay.
Anytime.
That is so good.
Want some more?
Geez, I'm going to be drunk before the afternoon, huh?
Starting to slur already.
Watch, I might be able to just make it through the peaches and then embarrass Dearth just enough to land perfectly in the yogurt.
We're gonna start with the peaches here.
Yeah, we'll just start simply by dicing up some of these golden queens. Just take the cheeks off because they are an unmovable stone.
Okay, so we have our peaches looking good, and we're gonna add in a little bit of raspberries, is that right?
We are, and just a little bit of mint, which these are the really late harvest on the raspberries.
Love, love, love raspberries.
Do some of the Aria, and don't be shy.
So now the brioche we're simply gonna saute up with some butter.
We are.
So excited about this. What a gorgeous day. We have the family waiting for us, Edward and his family, and Sierra. And we're gonna plate up this dessert, one of the final courses in our degustation. We have our brioche toasted, sauteed with a little bit of butter. Oliver's in the kitchen getting ready for a real busy lunch service today. So I need to do some work after all. I'm gonna take our yogurt and just smear that across the plate. Beautiful brioche that I'm really impressed Edward busted that out for us. We have our poached Black Boy peaches that have incredible color. Now our golden peaches have been macerating with a little of the raspberries and that late picked Aria. This dish really just, it's all about what's in season. So we went out to the trees, we picked what's fresh. I like combining the 2 different textures, something that's poached and something that's fresh. So really you can do this with figs, feijoas, you can really do this with any fruit that you have. It's really simple to macerate the fruit and really simple to just poach it in its own juices. So really anybody could do this dish at home.
So I'm gonna finish this dish with some toasted pistachios and some beautiful feijoa sorbet that we made here.
The late picked Aria Riesling has a nice dryness to it and beautiful acidity. So the sweetness of the peaches incorporated with the sweet raspberry and the creaminess of this buffalo yogurt is really going to integrate beautifully, especially with that feijoa and Riesling sorbet. I think it's going to be a wonderful wine match. One final step, we have little pearls of Verona chocolate. Fantastic. this looks like what Oliver had in mind. So let's see what they think.
Look at me. Edward was a lovely guy, and we joined him, his wife, and children for a lunch on the stunning grounds. I wanted to take this one home with my case of Pinot. So cute. Possibly the next winemaker at Pegasus Bay.
So it was awesome meeting the Donaldson family and being here at Pegasus Bay. I've always been a big fan of their wines, and it was great to get to know the family.
You gonna lose your fork?
Good.
It's beautiful. Okay, so Denver, this is chocolate. Here, try some of that. That's chocolate. The dessert was great with the late harvest Riesling. Michael and the chef Oliver did an outstanding job, and the late harvest Riesling is well worth a try. The Donaldsons are true legends in the wine industry in New Zealand. You can see why. They are so passionate about what they do, yet so unassuming. Very friendly and just a nice bunch. I will remember my afternoon at Pegasus Bay very fondly.